something really, really powerful about you. I was told to tell you something really powerful about you. You are cute. You are juicy and 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 cute. I am juicy and cute. Yeah. I am juicy and cute. Yeah. I am juicy and cute. Come on, say it. I am juicy and cute. Ow. I am juicy and cute. I am juicy and cute. Ow. I am juicy. Tell somebody you are juicy and cute. You are juicy and cute. You are juicy and cute. You are juicy. What about we? We are juicy and cute. We are juicy and cute. I love sacred thoughts. I'll tell you. Today we're gonna continue in the section that I've been covering that I want to get through because I think it's one of the most powerful sections in the course. It's almost like if a person gets this one, they got everything covered. And it's the section that's called the Holy Spirit's Curriculum in chapter 12 in A Course in Miracles. And we are going to be on page 216 in the Foundation for Inner Peace version of the Course in Miracles. And I'm going to continue where I left off. So everybody got that? We're on page 216, chapter 12 in the text. Now I'm going to intersperse this lesson today with every now and then hitting it with the we are juicy and cute. Okay, because we got to break it up. Because it's important as much as possible to get our whole mind in this. And if those of you who have the book, and I got a few loaner copies up here if you want to follow along. I also want to give you tips about how to study A Course in Miracles because in the end, if you really want to have a change in your perception that changes your life, the Course itself says that you don't accomplish anything without giving it some attention and study. And so hopefully what I can do is help support you in being able to do that. But in the end, it's going to be your commitment and dedication that's going to make the difference. So as we go through this, I'm going to go through the paragraph, and then I'm going to go through the paragraph, and then I'm going to go through the paragraph. Okay? The first sentence says, only appreciation is an appropriate response to your brother. So the only appropriate response to another person actually is appreciation. Gratitude, which is appreciation, is due the other person for both their loving thoughts and their appeals for help. Does appeals for help sometimes take the form of us acting crazy as hell? Okay, and being angry and upset and depressed and, you know us. The Course in Miracles calls that what? An appeal for help. So if you walk in the room and somebody's losing their temper and going off, it's an appeal for help. If someone's sick, it's an appeal for help. If they're depressed, it's a what? Appeal for help. Okay. It says because both, what both? The loving thoughts and the appeals for help are capable of bringing love into your awareness if you perceive the calls for help and the loving thoughts truly. So basically what it's saying to us is the only thing you're looking at when you leave here today and the rest of the week, you're just looking at love or what? A call for love. And both of those can bring love into your perception. And whatever you focus on is what you experience. Whatever you focus on is what you experience, and whatever you focus on is what you experience, and whatever you focus on is what you see, and whatever you see is what you're focusing on, and do you know that what you focus on is what you see. So if our consciousness is creating our reality, then we have a consciousness that's focused on love, then we're going to draw, perceive, and experience more joy and happiness in our lives. I want you to just take a minute to be with that. that if you're actually using the truth correctly, the insanity in the world can bring you as much joy and peace into your life as when people are acting loving. And if you could get to the point, and I could get to the point, that we could see fear as what it really is, a call for love, think about how many opportunities every day we have to bring love into our lives. This would be like an endless cornucopia of opportunities to experience love if we realize just this one thing, that I'm either seeing love or a call for love or an appeal for help. And then we heard last week that it's a call for God. And we also heard last week that this book is not asking you to try to help somebody in your own way. So don't look at this as some deep responsibility that's a trip for you. Because the truth is, it just told us we are supposed to see it as what? A call for love. It said we are supposed to see it as what?
A call for love.
Okay, see it as that. All right. Then it goes on to the next part of to say, all your sense of strain, in case you put in some kind of strain behind what I just said, it says all your sense of strain comes from your attempt not to do just this. Why do I feel strain? I don't want to see it as a call for love. I don't want to see my boss as a call for love. I don't want to see my mom and daddy as a call for love. I don't want to see what's going on in the world as a call for love. Actually, that's where our strain is coming from. The Course says we are under strain and stress because we don't want to see things truly. Then it goes on to say, how simple then is God's plan for salvation, which is the same as saying, how simple then is love's plan for our healing? Because salvation is another term for healing and forgiveness. God is the infinite love that created us. So how simple then is the infinite love's plan for our healing, which is what? There's just one response to reality. There's only one response to reality. For reality evokes no conflict at all. What do you mean reality evokes no conflict at all? Actually, if there's only one way for me to respond, what am I in conflict about? If there isn't but one choice, which is to see it as a call for love and a call for healing, what am I in conflict? Conflict means I'm trying to choose between two different things. And if there's only one way to respond, I shouldn't be in conflict. And it says, here is the answer. First of all, there's only one teacher of reality. That's the divine. And the divine understands what reality and the truth is. So the Course in Miracles is telling us that we all have one teacher that knows what the truth is. And that teacher doesn't change its mind about the truth and reality because reality does not change. So I'm not going to change my mind about what's true because what's true doesn't change. That's how you can tell what's true from what's not true. What's true never changes, it expands, but what's not true changes all the time. So based on that, it would seem like this reality is not true. Because everything here changes. Do you know why the Course in Miracles says everything here changes? Because if it's not love, it has to change so that it can eventually become love. So anything that's not based on love will always change. So we don't have to worry about will we end up in happiness, will we end up in love, because anything that we're doing that's not based on love won't last. It has to change. Explains all of my relationships. All of them. Now, let me tell you this. If you're here for the first time, let me be really clear. You need not believe the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas may be hard to believe. Some of the ideas may be quite startling. But if you use it, instead of analyzing it to death, you'll see that the ideas work. So I'm not trying to, so it's important to accept that you don't have to believe what I'm saying if you really want to hear it. Because if a person thinks that they have to believe what I'm saying, then that brings up resistance. If you'll just go, you know what, I'm just going to let the dude say what he got to say, and I'm just going to listen to it, and I don't have to believe it, then you keep an open mind. So don't think it matters to me whether or not you believe everything I say. Because if if I'm not willing to have you look at it differently than what I'm saying, I should not be in front of the room. So believe me, I'm not attached to you believing what I'm saying, like I used to be a long time ago when I was more unaware. Because it gives me more peace if I'm not. See, I offer the truth the same way that it would be if you came over a person's house and they offered you a soda. If you say no thank you, they're going, what you mean no thank you? Right. They don't take it all personal, right? That's the way I am. Okay, so you can say I'm out to lunch. Okay. All right. Then it says, although your interpretations of reality are meaningless, in your divided state, the Creator's interpretations of reality remain consistently true. So even though we are constantly changing the way we look at things, that which is real and that which created us is completely consistent. It never changes its perception, which is what? It's all love, or a call for love. It's all love. So your biggest sin, your biggest guilt, the thing you're feeling the most upset about, that you're beating yourself up about, the divine mind is just seeing you as going, help me, 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 help me. That's all Spirit is hearing. Help me, help me. When you're unhappy, it's going, all it hears is help me. We're the ones that get caught up on the form the call is coming in. In other words, if I rob somebody, then you may be judging whether or not you're going to be compassionate toward me because I robbed the bank. So we don't see things as a call for love consistently, because sometimes our need for punishment and to punish and to attack because of the form of what the person did makes us not want to help them. Like if someone's a child molester, it's not the first thing that we come up with is that person needs to be helped and loved. Because what they did makes us not want to help them, some people. You understand what I'm saying? We get caught up in the form the call is in, and the Course is saying divine mind or God or love, true love, all true love knows is that's a call for help. That's somebody that needs healing. That's someone that needs a corrected perception. So the Course in Miracles says, I love this line. It says, basically it said, God is not so cruel that God would leave my healing up to you. And I went, that would be cruel. That'd be the cruelest thing God could do, is to make my healing and my help dependent on how we judge whether or not a person deserves it. Like in other words, we really think we can put someone in prison, keep them isolated in a cell for 23 hours a day for 10 years, and let them out and think somehow we've corrected them. They're madder than they were and crazier than they were when they went in. See, we think punishment is correction, and the Course in Miracles says punishment only compounds the error. What the person needs is help. They need to have their mind helped so that when they do come back out into society, they're looking at it differently in a more peaceful, healing way. So I want to be in a world where people are compassionate and where people see me when I'm upset and afraid, where people will see it as a call for love. But the only way I can be in that kind of a world would be what? For me to be that way myself. So how do I get to that world? I see as best I can whatever anybody's doing around me as a call for love or love. That's too simple, isn't it? Because it's just saying I need to see it that way. Then it says, and I love this line, and please, if you're following along, you should really love this line. It says, he says, the Spirit or love gives these interpretations to you because these interpretations are for you. So we're receiving these interpretations because they are for us. And then it says, do not attempt to help a brother in your way. Do not attempt to help a person in your way. Do not attempt to help a person in your way. Do not attempt to help a person in your way. Do not attempt to help a person in your way. Why? For you cannot help yourself. Just look at the job you've been doing with you. Don't put that on nobody else. That's basically what Spirit is saying. If If you look at the job you've done when it comes to making yourself consistently happy, please don't try to help nobody else. This book is actually telling me the world would be better off if I didn't do nothing. That's just insulting. This book is insulting me, you know what I'm saying? Then it goes on to say, but hear that person's call for the help of God. If you got a problem with God, always substitute the word love. And hear that person's call for the help of love, and then you will recognize your own need for the love, because the Father is love. So here I hear your call for love, then I recognize when I'm going off, it's my call for love. So instead of me condemning myself when I have a bad day, I'll go, well, you know what? Yeah, I went off today, but that was my call for love. Why would I say that? Because I've learned to see what you do as a call for love. And remember, whatever you apply to someone else, your mind automatically applies to you. You don't have to worry about it. What you say about me, your mind is going to, because we're joined. So your mind's going to automatically go, well, that applies to you too, buddy. And if that's true, that's frightening, isn't it? Unless you're seeing people in a loving way. But if you're a person who tries to feel special and therefore better by judging other people, then whatever you're saying about them, you're increasing the awareness of that in your own mind. Wow. So that's the first paragraph that I've covered. Any questions or comments about what I've just talked about? Yes.
I just had a quick comment where you were talking about the need for change when there's not love present.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my boyfriend recently said something that hate has a quick half-life. And how, you know, with a lot of the conflict that's happening today, we see it as, oh, there's so much bad and evil and hurt in the world. But if you look in the long term where we've come as a people and as a world, like it's a lot less violent now than ever was before. And it just seems like these things are coming up like hiccups just to be let go.
Absolutely.
The half-life is just
Absolutely. You know, what's really great is that the reason why it looks like it's so insane is because there's so much light and so much love coming into the world that is bringing up everything that's unlike itself. Mm-hmm. That's why when you tell somebody, I love you, all hell breaks loose. Because as soon as you say that, everything that's not love comes up to be released. Mm-hmm. You ever wonder why so much happens after you tell somebody you love them? Mm-hmm. Because you're trying to purge yourself of everything between you that's not love. And so everything that's not love comes up. That's why forgiveness is so important. Mm. So to say that you are going to, I always tell people, stop expecting perfection out of your friends and partners. Because by you expecting them to always keep their word, to always do everything that they say they're going to do, that they're never going to lie, that they're going to always be on time. Every time you set up those kind of premises, then there's no room for forgiveness. And if there's no room for forgiveness, the relationship isn't going to last because none of us are consistent all the time.
Correct.
And I'm sorry, there's nothing you could accuse another person of that you probably haven't done yourself. You mad because they're late? Have you ever been late? You mad because they didn't keep their word? Oh, you have done everything you said you were going to do your whole life? It's like, give me a friggin' break. And I see people like that. But they actually have that kind of attitude about their friends and their partners. Like, you just can't, you lie to me. You might want to ask yourself, why? Why? Why are they afraid to tell you the truth about whatever is going on? Why?
And why you lie to yourself?
Because no matter what you're doing it because for whatever reason you think is going to bring you the most peace. That's why they're lying. Because they feel like it gives them more peace than telling the truth about it. Or they're afraid they might lose you if they tell you the truth. It's always some fear beneath what you see as a deception. But if you were a compassionate person, that they could tell you anything without you attacking them, they would tell you everything. But no one's going to tell you everything if you friggin' going off on them. So the people who go off the most Always the people who are always wondering why people are not open with them. It's so hilarious. Nobody wants to go through the stuff they go through with you. That's why they don't tell you. That's why they don't tell you. It's not complicated. You make it difficult because you're not seeing it as a call for love. You're seeing it as a need to attack. So theoretically, yes, you should always tell the truth. And people should always tell you the truth. Theoretically, that's a wonderful thought. But if you're going to attack them, they're going to not tell you. Because their peace will mean more to them than you're listening to you. I know specialist says, no, it's more important that I be happy. No, not to most people. Your happiness isn't the first thing they think about. It's theirs. I wish I could say we were all that unselfish, but y'all know we're not. Yet. Because we don't know we are one yet. We don't know that all that we give is given to ourselves. That everything I give to you, I'm giving it to myself because you are myself. There's just one of us here looking like a lot of us. That's the game of separation that we're playing. We're playing like there's a many. And we could be having a great time. It could be fun because we're so unique in our diversity. But if we remember we were one, then we would have fun with our differences. But if you think you're separate and different, and you look like you're separate and different, and everybody else looks like they're separate and different, it produces the world that we see. One that there's fear and competition in. There's no such thing as competition. There's no such thing as competition because there's nobody to compete against. It's all you. And if you look around the room, you have to admit there's a lot of cute yous. It is. I keep saying that because sometimes I don't think you see how beautiful you are. Because you're believing something that you were told. That's not true. So I am, like we used to say in the hood, you my dog. You know what I'm saying? That was like a popular saying. I'm your seeing-eye dog. I'm seeing your coolness until you can see your coolness. All right, is that cool?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone else? Question, comment before I take the next paragraph? Yes.
I would just say that I'm so in the process of applying these things, and it's even in the process is not perfect, and I've caught myself being like, why can't I get this perfectly? So
I love how you did that.
right? That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
That's what it
yeah.
looks like. It feels like. But just today, I had an opportunity to be compassionate, and I didn't do it. But in the end, my partner was like, I just don't know how to tell you this. I was like, just talk to me and give me a shot.
Yeah.
Give me, and I turned around and said, Kiana, you need to give yourself a shot.
And sometimes both of you got calls for love at the same time.
Yeah.
So you can't, neither one of y'all can do anything to each other. You're both crazy together. So at least you should be one in your insanity. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes you're both crazy. And so what's important is when you get to that point, is you go, our ego.
Yeah.
My ego, our ego fooled us again, made us think we were separate, and that there was some other answer than giving each other love. And then you realize that, and then you go to the movie.
Yeah.
You don't do a whole lot, you know what I'm saying? I've been in relationships where we would catch each other and we would go, wait a minute, hey,
Right.
this is our ego. You right. Let's go to the movie. And literally that's what we would do. We didn't go through all night processing it, going over it. We just, once you recognize you're making a mistake, that's all that's required. Is that you recognize you're making a friggin' mistake.
Yeah.
It's like me erasing something on this board and then analyzing the particles that I erased off the board. Or getting ready to throw out garbage, but before I do it, I go through everything in the garbage can. It's not necessary. It's not necessary to analyze your fear. All right? Okay, well, I'm going to go on further. Now, this next sentence says, your interpretations of your brother's needs are your interpretation of yours. So whatever you interpret my need as being, that is really yours. Now, the man would go, oh my God, you mean what I say about this other person, that's really my need? Yeah, that's true, but let's keep it within the context of what we're talking about. It says, your interpretation of your brother's need, well, we just heard what our brother needed. What? Love is my interpretation of my need. So if I think you are calling for love, then I believe that I'm calling for love. So by giving help, you are asking for help. So how do you ask for help? By giving help. How do you give help? By seeing it as a call for help. Is helpful. And if you perceive but one need in yourself, you will be healed. What will heal me? Seeing that I only have one thing that I need. Love. That's the only thing we need. That's the only thing I need. Now let's make love easy. Love means appreciation. The Court says love is another word for appreciation. See, when people tell you they love you and it scares you half to death, that's because you're thinking of what that usually means, which is script, limitation, control. We know that in the past, some of the greatest pain that we've given ourselves has been through what? People who said what to us?
They love us.
I love you. And now you're going through pure hell.
Yeah.
So if someone says that they love you, then you go, oh, say anything but that. We were doing great until you said that. Right? But if you were to understand that love means appreciation, then you would have no fear of someone saying they love you. So every time someone tells me that they love me, but they think there is a me for them to love, which means they don't know the truth yet, because there is no me for them to love, there's only them for them to love as me, then I immediately transpose what they said to me in my mind to, I appreciate you, or I want to love you. So if you say you love me, I'm going to go, oh, you really mean you want to love me if you think I'm separate from you. And I'm going to also say that it's appreciation that you feel. Because that takes away fear, which means it must be the truth. So love means what? Appreciation. And of course, it's full appreciation. Full appreciation. So if you would only see yourself as only needing to appreciate yourself, to be appreciated, and to give appreciation, there is nothing that's going on in your perception of your life that would not be healed. And to heal means to undo fear. See, what I'm going to do in 34 years of studying the Course is help you be able to go through the Course without the fear. So the Course says to heal means to undo fear. It's not to heal means to get a shot. It means that when your mind is released from fear, love automatically heals and takes over. So when you say you want to heal someone, you're saying I want to be a means for a person's fear to be undone. That's healing. So if I want to be healed, if I want my fear to be undone, then I must only perceive that I have one need. What is that need? Love. And so I'm going to therefore see in my world what? Love, or a call for love. Oh, we cooking. We cooking. Yes.
With Crisco.
With Crisco. Crisco, that's right, a lot of vegetables. Yeah, let me share this with you now. Oh yeah. Your interpretation of your brother's needs are your interpretation of your needs. Your interpretation of your brother's needs are your interpretation of your needs. By giving help, you are asking for help. I say by giving help, you are asking for help. And if you perceive but one need in yourself, you will be healed. If you perceive but one need in yourself, you will be healed. If you perceive but one need in yourself, you will be healed. If you perceive but one need in yourself, you will be healed. If you perceive but one need in yourself, you will be healed. If you perceive but one need in yourself, you will be healed. Why am I doing it that way, besides it being just fun? Because if I don't get my body involved, it won't affect my consciousness. If I don't get some feeling mixed in it, it's not going to affect my consciousness. Doing this purely intellectually won't affect you and impact you emotionally. And you all know that you remember how you feel. You may not remember exactly what you did with another person, but when you think about them, you have a fond memory or not so fond memory based more on what? How you felt about them and how you felt around them. So if you think this is an intellectual thing alone, you're going to miss it. What you want to do is get some feelings, because your body is the storehouse of all your memories. So your body is a storage unit.
Come on.
I'm telling you. And I can prove it to you. I got a scar on my knee that I got when I was 9 years old. And they say your cells are completely replaced every 7 years. So you don't have one cell in your body that you had 7 years ago. But I still have the scar on my knee. That's because it's a memory that my cells are passing on to the next cell. Like one cell gets ready to go and the new one gets to come and say, here's that when he was 9 years old, here's that cut. So when you do things, you want to make new memories in your body. That's why you want to remember the joyous times, the loving times, the thrilling times. You want new memories. Your body is just a memory. It's not even really there.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
The Course in Miracles says your body is either remembered or anticipated, but it's never experienced as now.
Oh.
That's deep, isn't it?
That's called digestion.
That's right. That's right. It's in digestion.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go deeper. Why am I taking it slow? Because the Course said, take me slow, read me slow. That's the way the book says read. It says, read me slow. Because all it takes is one truth to lead you to all truth. One. And if you're having a good nap, it's great because you're in a totally safe place to sleep. Isn't that great? And if you sleep, your ego is out the way, so it's going straight into you without any blocks whatsoever. So sleep on, brother. Sleep on. Okay. For you will recognize God's answer as you want it to be. Right? You recognize the truth as you want it to be, and if you want it in truth, it will be truly yours, if you want it. Every appeal you answer in the name of Christ, which is the same as love, every appeal you answer in the name of love does what? Brings the remembrance of your Father, your Creator, closer to your awareness. So if I want to be aware of my relationship to Source, if I want to be aware of my relationship to God, if I want to be aware of my connection to the universe, then every time I see something as a call for love, in the name of love, I'm getting closer to remembering my divine self. For the sake of your own need, then hear every call for help is what it is. So why do you want to hear every call for help is what it is?
For the sake of you.
For the sake of your own needs, so what? The Creator can answer you. You want love to answer you, then you have to hear calls for help from other people, because you won't recognize God's answer to you unless you're seeing everyone else as a call for love also. So this book is telling us exactly how to tap into the force, but it's different from what we've been taught. And because it's different from what we've been taught, that's why the resistance comes up, because do you know that you identify with your thinking? So when someone says something opposite to what you believe, you'll respond like you've been attacked. You've all had that feeling, right? When, like, you say into the Course in Miracles and somebody go, that crap, you go, oh. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because I identify with my beliefs, and you just attack my beliefs, so it's like you attack me. So the Course is telling us that you identify with your thoughts, so you want to see everything that everybody else is doing for a call for help, so that you can recognize love's help when it comes to you. People who don't love themselves don't even recognize when they're around somebody that's loving them. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you find yourself falling in love with somebody that criticizes and judges themselves all the time and put themselves down, good luck. Because I don't care how much love you try to give them, they won't see it. They won't recognize it and they won't appreciate it. So I'm not saying don't love people who don't love themselves. I am saying don't ask them out. But man, have you seen her butt? I'll just bring her to the class. We'll work on her mind. Oh yes. The body. The body. How y'all feel about the body? Anybody out there interested in the body?
Cute.
Yeah. Cute, juicy, isn't it? Yeah. The body is neutral. It's just neutral. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just neutral. But it's amazing how much stuff I put myself through for that neutral thing. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Think about how much money we invest in it and how we take care of it and how we have to feed it, we have to clothe it, we have to house it, we go to work so we can pay for it. I mean, we really are working for the body.
Yeah.
You know, don't you remember what it was like when we didn't have one? Some of y'all do. Y'all know what it was like when we were free-willing energy that was unlimited and able to be all places at all times at once. At once. Completely unlimited. And so here we are, hanging out, being able to be anywhere, do anything, have nothing but love, don't even have to worry about, gaining 10 pounds that we don't want, And then we went, what would it be like to be separate? What would it be like to seem like we were different from who we really are? Let's play the game of let's be bodies. And so, poof. But in order to play the game, we have to forget who we really are, or you won't take it seriously. So now, we've forgotten who we really are, so now we think we are what we think we are. Right? So we have amnesia, spiritual amnesia. And spirit is trying to wake us up. Y'all got too serious. You forgot who you really are. You are love. You're not just bodies, but your body could be one way that you let love come in. It could be your medium of communication. You can use your body for love. You can use your body for love. And if you do, your body will be healed.
Like Earl. Like Earl.
Well, that's right. I'm using my body right now for love.
Yep,
that's exactly right. That's what I'm using it for. You wouldn't believe I was 4,002. Actually, I'm a lot older than that, and so are you. That's right. Y'all some old mothers. And then you an old, moldy, ancient soul. You don't even land in a class like this. Because if you like fresh and new, you'll just go, they're nuts, let me out of here. Okay? Get me out of this class. And he black too, get me out of here. He's Satan! I was at the Beatles tribute concert the other night, and besides asking myself how I ended up there, I was, and I think the Beatles are cool, don't get me wrong, but I'm always amazed at the places I end up, and it was very spiritual watching people you named around their music. Those people were absolutely in ecstasy to share that music together. That's healing. See, that was a healing, And so I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold you. The back thing in there. All right. Joy creates.
Yes.
Joy heals. Never pass up an opportunity for joy.
Yes.
Ever.
Yes.
Ever. Okay? So the Course then goes on to tell us, by interpreting the Holy Spirit's interpretation of the reactions of others more and more consistently. What is the Holy Spirit of the loving Spirit's interpretation of the reactions of others? What is it? Love. Love, or call for love. He says, by doing that, you guys will gain an increasing awareness of what? That this criteria equally applies to you. The more I see that yours is a call for love, the more I'm going to see that mine is a call for love. For to recognize fear isn't enough to escape from it. To recognize fear isn't enough to escape from it, although the recognition of fear is necessary. Why? To demonstrate the need for escape. You know, I recognize I'm afraid, so I need to escape. But the recognition, you know that's true. Recognizing that you're afraid doesn't necessarily get rid of your fear. Right? But the fear lets you know you need to get rid of your fear. So the Holy Spirit, who is what? The part of you that is love, that's still connected to source, must still translate your fear about anything to the truth. Okay, so I'm in fear, but I need my fear to be translated into what's true, and what's true is love. So once you recognize, now I love this, if you were left with the fear, once you had recognized the fear, you would have taken a step away from love and reality, not towards. In other words, if you bring up all my stuff and just leave me with it, then you've actually made me feel worse than I was in the first place. At least when I was in denial, I thought I was happy. You know, now you bringing up what's going on within me that I wasn't aware of. So if you just bring it up and you leave me with it, it says that you've actually taken a step away from reality, which is love, not towards it. Yet we repeatedly emphasize to you all the need to recognize fear and do what? Face it. How? Without disguise. As what? A crucial step in the undoing of your ego. Your ego is nothing but the part of your mind that's fear-based. That thinks it's separate. So I'll just say it another way. We have repeatedly emphasized the need to recognize fear and face fear without disguise as a crucial step in the undoing of the fear. Consider how well the Holy Spirit's interpretation of the motives of others will serve you then. What's the Holy Spirit's interpretation of the motives of others? Love will call for love. So consider how this will serve you then. Then it goes on to explain what it just got through saying. Whenever you're reading the course, you could stop behind each sentence and go, and what does that mean? And then read the next sentence. Don't stop and figure. Go, what does that mean? Keep reading. And what did that mean? Keep reading. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Consider how well the Holy Spirit's interpretation of the motives of others will serve you. What does that mean? Well, having taught you to accept only loving thoughts in others and to regard everything else in others as an appeal for help, the loving spirit in you has taught you what? That fear itself is an appeal for help. So recognizing fear doesn't mean you're recognizing how afraid you are. Recognizing fear means you recognize that fear is a call for help. So a person has not really recognized fear until they say, oh my God, I'm feeling a deep appeal for help right now. I'm feeling a deep appeal for love right now. I just got a bill I can't pay. I'm feeling a deep call for love right now. That's recognizing fear. Because now I know what fear really is. So I thought it was something else, didn't you? Didn't you think recognizing fear meant recognizing that you were afraid? No, recognizing fear means you're interpreting fear for what fear really is, which is a call for help. Then it says, if you don't protect it, love will reinterpret it. So if you're not stubborn about your perception of what fear is, then you can get a new interpretation that'll take you out of fear. So do you want to be right, or do you want to be fearless? Fearless. Me too. So in order to be fearless, I need to be willing to let go of my position long enough to get a new way of looking at it so that I can get out of the dilemma that I'm in. So what do we do? Well, it says, that's the ultimate value in learning to perceive attack as a call for love. That's the ultimate value in learning to perceive attack. Learning to perceive attack. Learning to see attack as a call for love. What's the ultimate value in learning to perceive attack as a call for love? Well, we have already learned that fear and attack are what? Inevitably associated. What does that mean? Well, it means that you tend to attack when you are afraid. Fearful people attack. Fearful people can be vicious. So the more you make a person afraid, the more likely you are to experience attack. Kind of explains why there's so much attack in the world. Because we think the way to be safe is to make someone so afraid that they won't attack us. But actually it's just the opposite. The more afraid they are of you, the more they're going to want to get rid of your butt. Because everybody wants to get rid of what causes them fear. So it's no advantage in trying to make somebody ultimately afraid of you. Because they're just looking for a way, at a fearful level of consciousness, they're looking for a way to get rid of you. So if you're in a relationship with somebody that you are afraid of, there's a part of you that wants to be separate from them very, very, very much. That's why relationships that are based on anger and attack and fear never last, because they shouldn't. Yeah. Thank God the universe separates you eventually from anything that you attack and then that's attacking you. Yeah. And so I learned from the world that the way you get people to treat you right is to go off on them. So back in the day, when I was in a relationship and I wanted my partner to do what I wanted them to do, I would use anger as a method of getting them to give in to my desires. Could you believe that? I know y'all don't know what I'm talking about. I can tell by the way y'all looking at me. Really? You use anger to manipulate people? I just can't believe you. I never do that. I love how we look at, what I'm saying, stuff we all do. Yeah. It's a trip at being up here. You watch people look at her, really? You did it this morning. You did it just last night. You know. So the course then goes on to say, isn't it amazing how this book that people claim is so hard to understand, when you read it in a group, you hear it? Because it's not meant to be done alone.
Thank you.
It's meant, even I'm not saying you can't study alone, but you just notice, you hear the truth better together. Mm-hmm. Especially if someone who is sharing it with you loves it. Because I'm not a person sitting up here just calling words. I love this. It's proven itself over and over and over to be true. And it really bugs me. Because the part of me that thinks I don't deserve to have this much peace is pissed. The part of me that doesn't love me, it's like, man, I've not had enough of you. You know, I'm going to give you some kind of a real challenge that'll make you throw your spiritual path away. And so it's like, okay, how do I get past that fear of my ego clobbering me because I'm daring to love myself? Oh, I know how I get past that, to see it as love or a call for love. See, the answer is the same, so I don't have to spend time trying to figure out what to do. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't it easier to remember one thing than 100 things? Have you ever noticed how hard it is to remember one thing when you think the answer is 100 things? So then you come to a class so I can give you 100 different answers, right? But the truth is, you're just hearing one answer 100 different ways, until one of the ways is coming to you in the way you do it. I've heard many books that say similar things to what the Course is teaching. But what made the Course in Miracles my path is I was actually willing to do what it said. That's how I knew it was my path. It wasn't another book that I read and went, boy, that was great, boop, on the shelf. Oh, here's another one I read, boop. Have you read the latest this? Have you read the latest that? Have you read the latest book over here? Have you read the latest book over here? Some people think enlightenment is how many books and how much information can you get. And they think that's like saying you're going to bake a cake and then you buy a cookbook and then you wait for the cake to be cooked and you say, wait a minute, the cake isn't baked and the cake hasn't been baked. I have the cookbook. Oh, I know the problem. I need to go get another cookbook. So you go to the store and buy another cookbook and you put it next to the first cookbook and you say, okay, cake. Wait a minute, the cake's not made. Oh, I need to go get another cookbook. And so that's us with all our different books. And then we go, well, why is it not working? Well, that's the same as expecting the cake to be baked by buying 100 different cookbooks. At some point, you got to actually put the eggs and the flour and all this kind of stuff together. But this book is so cool. It's saying, if you are willing, I'll cook the cake for you. See, that's the way I like it. Tell me what to do and then tell me you'll do it for me. You know what I'm saying? I want to drink of water. Where's your kitchen? It's around there, but that's okay. I'll go get it. That's this book. But you just have to be willing to not be right.
Yes.
And some people, they'd rather be right. Sorry. You know, hold on just a second. All right, I'm going to finish this paragraph. And then it goes, now, if only attack produces fear, and if you see attack as the call for help that it is, then the unreality of fear must dawn on you. So if only being angry and upset and attack is what's causing fear, and you're walking around and you're saying attack and anger and depression and lack, that's just a call for help, He says, then you will begin to have the unreality of fear come to you, and you will begin to let go of your fear, and you will begin to recognize how unreal your fear is. That's a great payoff. For fear is a call for love. And when you're reading the course and you see a comma like that in the middle of the sentence, the next part of the sentence is getting ready to give you an explanation of the first part of the sentence. In other words, fear is a call for love. What is that? An unconscious recognition of what has been denied. What has been denied? Love. So whenever I am feeling fear, what I'm really feeling is I'm having an unconscious recognition that love isn't happening right now. I'm afraid. I'm feeling an unconscious recognition that love is being denied right now. Love is not being expressed right now. So fear is nothing but you unconsciously recognizing that there's no love here. That's what fear is. It's saying, in this moment, there's no love here. I'm not experiencing love here. That's why I'm afraid. So actually, fear is a recognition of love. Seen correctly, fear can make you more aware of love instead of more aware of fear. And the more aware you become of love, then the more love you experience. Whoa. Could I get a whoa? Whoa. 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 Now, what were you about to ask?
Oh, you said the healing was the undoing of fear?
Right.
And I was just processing and I just wanted to know.
Yeah, fear is the undoing of healing, is the undoing of fear, the undoing of guilt, the undoing of the separation, the undoing of anger. So you could just as easily say lack is a call for abundance, which means when you feel lack, you have an unconscious recognition that the abundance that's your natural state is being denied. So seeing correctly, lack becomes a recognition of abundance and will draw abundance into your consciousness. Whoa! Whoa! Would you acknowledge yourself here in this month with me? Come on, give it up! Give it up! Hey! Yes! Put some energy out there. Yes, yes. So I'm going to do a quick review in a minute to wrap things up. We're going to do the financial expression of appreciation. And then when I wrap it up, there's going to be a quick announcement that Sheila wants to make for us. And because I wanted to cut the camera off first and before I put this online. So thank you for sharing with me. I'm a full-time teacher of the Course in Miracles, so I appreciate your willingness to be a channel for the Holy Spirit's sustaining what I'm doing. I appreciate that from the bottom and the tops and the sides of my heart.
I say.
Yes, 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 yes. So let me pass this around. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Like the Course says, all that I give is given to myself. Those of you on the internet, if you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, go to my website, earlpurdy.com. You can do it there. And I'm available for one-on-one sessions so we can help you get through whatever it is you think you're going through right now, to get past it. And if you're open to it, I can also use my skills in astrology, numerology as another means to get information in addition to the course. So go to my website, it explains what I do. And also go to my website to sign up for my contact list so that you can receive links to the videos right in your email box. So you'll get a chance to listen back to what you heard today. And if you'd like to sign the contact list, I have it up front. Is there anyone that needs to be on the contact list that would like to be on the contact list? Okay, great. Thank you, darling. All right. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, Tuesday night at 7 o'clock we do a fantastic class called The Way of Mastery. And it's another deep metaphysical spiritual class. What I'm saying is there are lots of ways we can allow that fear to be undone that blocks our good. If you're willing to just invest a couple of hours a week into coming to the classes. Okay, one thing I heard today, one thing I heard today that I really want to remember is
Everything is love or a call for
Everything is love or a call for love.
If I do not protect the fear, God or Holy Spirit will reinterpret it.
Right. If I do not protect it, then Spirit's going to reinterpret it and give me another interpretation that'll let go of my fear and let the healing happen. Anybody else?
Never pass up an opportunity for joy.
Never pass up an opportunity for joy. We need your joy. See, if we're going to be the witnesses to what happens to a person if they practice the truth, then we can't be the saddest people in the room.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody's going to want to get on your path if you still look as miserable as you did when you first started. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be a demonstrator. Right? Anybody else? One thing.
Do you want to be right or do you want to be without fear?
Say what?
Do you want to be right or do you want to be without
Do
fear?
you want to be right or do you want to be without fear? What's yours?
Don't try to help your brother in your way because you can't help yourself.
That's right. Don't try to help your brother in your own way. And those of you who don't want to help nobody no way, that should be good news. You get a chance to not help nobody and be spiritual. I'm truly spiritual. I ain't helping nobody. And it's probably the best thing ever happened to him. Because the fact that you won't do it doesn't mean God won't do it. And that God won't do it through who will be able to do it.
That's right.
That's right. Anybody else?
Healing is the undoing of fear.
Healing is the undoing of fear. That's what a holy relationship is. A holy relationship is merely a relationship with someone that the more you're with them, the less afraid you are. The safer you feel. The more appreciated you feel. That's a holy relationship. It doesn't matter the form. It doesn't matter if it's monogamous, polyamorous, or monogamous, or whatever you come up with. Those are just forms. What's important is, are you increasing fear or are you decreasing fear? That's what a holy relationship is. It's a relationship that's a perfect shelter for both of you to grow in. That's what a holy relationship is. Okay, anybody else? Before I do the quick wrap up? Okay, good. Boy, this was great. I needed to hear this today. Did you need to hear this today? Yeah, let's give it up. Give it to me. Yes. All right, here we go. Quick review. So before we get out of here, ready? Let yourself hear it. The only thing that your brother deserves is appreciation. It's appreciation, both for their loving thoughts and their calls for help. Sound like the music has indigestion. That's what I'm talking like that. Come on, come on, come on, come on. It's called for love. Okay, now here we go. That's what I want. That's what I'm talking about. A little African stuff. So when another person has a call for love, that can bring more love into your awareness. When the other person has a call for love, you want to see what the other person is doing as a call for love, because that will allow you to recognize God answering your call for love. If you want to be surrounded by people who see what you do when you're afraid as a call for love, see what everyone else is doing as a call for love. See it, see it, see it, see it. That doesn't mean that you're supposed to help a person in your own way. It doesn't mean you're supposed to ask, help a person in your own way. So what should you do? Ask your higher power what you should do. Ask the higher power if you should do anything. Always, always ask, ask. If you're not sure, maybe means no. 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 As you apply that it's a call for love and a call for help more consistently, then you will become aware that when you lose your mind, And when you go off and when you act crazy, that's your call for love. And since you recognize that it's your call for love, you will be more gentle with yourself when you're afraid. Be gentle with yourself when you are afraid. Understand that fear is a call for love. So to recognize fear is to know it's a call for love. It's a call for love. Everything is love. For a call for love. It's all love. For a call for love. It's all love. For a call for love. Don't forget, when you go out of here today, and you're ready to cut somebody out before you go to bed. You're feeling all spiritual, but when you walk out the door, soon as someone does something that you don't like, you know what you're gonna do. That's your call for love. When I see somebody there and I'm making myself upset about them, I go, you international call for love. And if they really, I'm making myself really angry, I go, you intergalactic call for love. You see what I'm saying? You don't necessarily have to be smiling. Oh, that's just a call for love. It might be, here's a call for love. Maybe you'll call for love. You'll call loud. Just since you put some feeling in it, put some emotion in it, then it will make more sense for you because you are juicy and sweet. Now, I am juicy and sweet. What we say? I am juicy and sweet. Yeah.